happy New Year. It's your girl, Dalilionga. It's really been a while. Yeah, you're welcome to another edition of Hall of Fame Debate Special. Now, if you're watching for the first time, Hall of Fame with Dalilionga is TV documentary talk show, yes, where I bring, no, let me not say I don't want to be greedy. I have a crew, yeah. My crew and I will bring music stakeholders in the entertainment industry. We tend to get to know about their takes on different topics, you know, want to know about their livelihood, want to know about their origin. I mean, all the good stuff, right? And then once a month, we tend to bring them, we pick a topic of discussion, like a topic that we can better the entertainment industry. And today, honey, we're going to be talking about the 80-20 campaign. You all know, if you are frequent on social media, you will see this campaign, which I'm not going to say was launched by Siwa International, but I would say that he ignited the fire. You know, he's been putting in a lot of pressure for us to support our own, not just music, but our culture in general. And then I've been bringing different artists like Magasco, Ewube, Matel Kamismi, yes, he graced us with his presence, and we looked at the 80-20 campaign, we defined it. So today's edition, like I said, is Hard Debate Special. With me are two amazing gentlemen. There is Mr. Leo and, of course, Jules. He's been here before. I'm really so excited to see him. So together, I'll be talking about the 80-20 campaign. We'll be defining it, and then we're going to be seeing reasons why Cameroonians prefer foreign content to homemade content. All these and lots will be coming to your TV screen. Don't go anywhere. The show just got started.
And if I there for you, you go there for me. If I there for you, you go there for me. Oh, you're there for me. Oh, yeah. Come and dip on this one again. I said, one love from the streets, we are set it that place. See a girl on it, turn on the place. It turn on the place, oh. Real love from the streets, we are set it that place. See a girl and it turn on the place, oh. It turn on the place, oh. And I come with fire, stronger. Step on the streets and you know I put the world on fire. Put the world on fire. And you know I conquer, stronger. Step on the streets and you know I put the world on fire. I put the world on fire. And if I there for you, you go there for me. If I there for you, you go there for me. Oh, you're there for me. Oh, yeah. And if I there for you, you go there for me. If I there for you, you go there for me. Oh, you're there for me. Oh, yeah. When wood girl jump on the beat side, them one know it's a hit. Oh, Asabaho, make we tell them. Say we want love, no big fight. No time to darkness, we want a light. We go and jump on the streets and set the place on fire. Stronger, step on the streets and you know I put the world on fire. I put the world on fire, yeah. Stronger, step on the streets and you know I put the world on fire, yeah. I put the world on fire, yeah. And if I there for you, you go there for me. If I there for you, you go there for me. Oh, you're there for me. Oh, yeah, yeah. And if I there for you, you go there for me. If I there for you, you go there for me. Oh, you're there for me. Oh, yeah. One hand no fit tie a bundle. If you not there, I know there. That's why I keep it steady and punctual. Steady and punctual. Yes, I give you better vibe, better juice, make you cruise till you lose. I keep it steady and punctual. Steady and punctual. With fire, stronger. Step on the streets and you know I put the world on fire. Put the world on fire. And you know I conquer, stronger. Step on the streets and you know I put the world on fire. I put the world on fire.
And now, I don't know why you all are not supporting Cameroonian music, because, honey, that song is fire right there. We rarely see our Cameroonian queens coming together for a collaboration. So when we see that, we have to appreciate them. Shout out to maybe Asaba and our girl Kameni. That one was a beautiful song. It's titled One Love. It was dropped a week ago, and the last time I checked, he has over 70,000 views. For me, it's very, very small. I mean, this song is beautiful, honey. From the beats, the production, I don't know, the costume, Asaba girl, I love her stylist. I mean, she's doing a great job. I love the fact that she's found her niche, and Kameni just came through with the bad girl, rude girl kind of style. That song is beautiful. Go on YouTube and support them. Okay, like I said, so I'm not alone in the studio. Let me start. What do I start with? Okay, well, my right hand is my strongest hand, so I'm going to start with Jules. Good morning.
Good morning. It's always a pleasure to be in your show.
Happy New Year.
Same to you.
How have you been?
Okay, always keeping a low profile as usual.
You look okay. I mean, you've increased from the last time we met.
Okay, I'm trying to be like you now.
And on my left, honey, we have Mr. Leo. He is an artist, yes. He is a CEO of Lion Productions. He has a school, the Lion Academy. You know what? Let him do the honors. Let him introduce himself. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Okay, so how does it feel like to be Mr. Leo?
Wow. It's a funny question. I've been Mr. Leo for so many years, right?
Yeah.
So whatever feeling I have, I guess I'm used to by now. I'm used to just being Mr. Leo.
With all the girls coming in, all the messages, the crushes and the crushes
Why
and
is it
everything.
supposed to be girls? Why?
Oh, boys crush on you?
Are you kidding me?
I want to know.
Friends are friends, female or male. I'm just saying, I've been Mr. Leo from the start till now.
Yeah.
And I just try most of the times to personally separate Mr. Leo from Leo.
Okay. Is it
to
working?
permit me have a personal life. Of course, it's working.
It's working.
If you don't do that, you're in trouble.
Okay. So we just showed you Kameni and Asaba. How do you feel?
I feel good. It's a nice song. It's a beautiful song. I mean, Asaba is fire.
I know, of course.
Yeah.
You know, Jules, you know what's going on, right? I mean, they have a history, like...
Shut up.
And he's blushing.
You know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
You want to go back to Asaba, maybe?
Are you kidding me?
No.
Stop. Come on.
Okay, Jules, what's
So I'm just saying there are two artists that
That's
I
you.
love.
Yeah.
I've spent a lot of time with both of them. I know them musically, personally, and it's a great song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jules, what's your take on it?
It's a great song. I mean, we need more of such collabos. We need more of such high quality content. So yeah, it's something we need to encourage as much as possible.
Okay. So today we are talking 80-20 campaign. This is what is really, really trending. And I want you all to take a look at CY International. It's true that 80-20 has been there, but he's been the one pushing this campaign. Though many say that he's doing it in an aggressive manner, but still is going. So I want you all to take a look at his interview. He was here last week on Hall of Fame with Darling Yonga, and this is what he said. This is his own definition of 80-20. Take a look. Now, to those who are watching the show for the first time, right, and they're probably hearing 80-20 for the first time, you as a pioneer, what is 80-20?
80-20 is a campaign to valorize our own, valorize homemade. That's 80-20.
Okay.
Homemade, you know, many people get it confused and twisted because we keep talking about music. We are using music because it's the most popular. But 80-20 is about fabrics, everything that is being produced in Cameroon, culture, language, and everything Cameroon. So that's 80-20. Let's give more values to what we produce in Cameroon and less values to what comes from the diaspora, including from the international, including their music, their culture, their languages, everything. Yeah, that's 80-20.
Okay, Jules, so you've heard CY's International's definition of 80-20. To you, what is 80-20?
Basically, 80-20 is about having a nationalist approach to consuming cultural products. That's within the context you are talking about, these cultural products, by music, painting, fashion, or whatever stuff, right? Or food or anything. It's basically, so it's giving priority to local content over imported content. in a bid to boost the local industry, without disrespecting it's just a way to regularize and protect a smaller industry like us over the bigger ones. Yes, that's how most countries do to protect their small nature. So it's important. Yeah.
And to you, Mr. Leo, what's 2020 to you?
Well, I'll just keep it as simple as let's consume more homemade. It's as simple as that. I mean, for everyone to understand, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if we're talking about just music or more than that. Just if we just have the concept of consuming more homemade stuff, I think it's literally that. But the fact remains that this is a gospel that has been preached for donkey years, for so long. Both people at the forefront and people behind the scenes. You have no idea the fight some people put behind the scenes to fight this. We can fight on social media and stuff, but you don't know the kind of fight that Jules is having behind the scenes when he sits down with maybe government officials and people responsible for one or two decisions. And so it's a fight that has been happening, and in time we hope people get to listen.
Okay. Now, when you go on social media, you go through the comment section, a lot of Cameroonians feel like this campaign is not necessary because to them, you cannot tell them what to consume. It's their take, they decide on it. If they want to take it or not, you cannot force it on them, right? And on you, Mr. Leo, when I checked your comment section, because after I posted your interview, many were like, Mr. Leo and CY kind of have a similarity to what you're saying, but people do not insult you. They tend to insult CY. What could be the reason?
Is it to me or you?
To you. Because they say everything Mr. Leo says is correct, the lion is never wrong. But CY says almost the same thing, but they bash him online. What's the difference between the both of you?
You see, I like to keep it simple, right? It's not always about the intent. It's not always about what you hope to achieve. It's also about how you do it. It's a combination of both and even more, right? If I'm owing you money, let's say I'm owing you 5K and I come to give you and I throw it on you, like take your 5K.
It's your money, but you take it and you're very annoyed, despite the fact that it's your right to take that 5K. But if I just come and I tell you in a nice way, like, this is the money I owe you, bro, sorry, it took long. You even feel the need to spin me some colo.
Okay, so it's a matter of approach there.
So I think people forget that it's not just about what we intend to do. It's about everything involved with it. Everything has to be done right for us to have the results we expect. So I think with Pancho, I think what he misses almost all the time is his manner of approach. And I would say that any day, any time, even in front of him, I think his manner of approach is wrong most of the times. That's just my opinion, though.
Okay. And you, Jules?
Yeah.
What do you think of his approach?
Well, I had a chance to meet him for the first time a couple of days ago, and we spoke, and basically, I think his approach he's more radical. He lacks pedagogy, like others like Mr. Leo might have, like the patience to explain the ideas, using the right analogies and examples to pass across the same message. So, but his standpoint from what he told me is society has been corrupt. So he needs that shock value. He needs to have a radical approach in order to pass his message. That's another school of thought. So some people like it, some don't like. But I think the fundamental difference between him and Leo is approach. It's just the approach.
Okay. Now to you, why do you think Cameroonians prefer to listen to Nigerian and other countries' music and not Cameroonian music?
Cameroonians prefer, every consumer, I think it's simplistic saying Cameroonians prefer to listen to Nigerian music than Cameroonian music. I mean, there are Cameroonian songs that have trended in Cameroon before Nigerian songs. There are Cameroonian artists that have had very good shows in front of Nigerian artists on the same platform. So I think it's about value proposition. Over the years, you've had some artists that have managed to stand out from the local market. People like Joey, Mr. Leo, Salatiel, Loco. I mean, we need more of these people that can come with high value, consistent content. Yes, if we can do that, Cameroonians are definitely going to prefer Mr. Leo over to. Naturally, that's the first thing. It's about value proposition. How much value are we proposing to that? Yeah, not everybody's Mr. Leo, not everybody's Jovi, not everybody's Sarachel, not everybody's local. So let's not mix up everybody there. Yes, because they represent the creme de la creme. But the question is, we need to have more of them. We need to have more consistent acts like them. You understand? Him, I've known him, it's basically at least 10 years. It's been there. Yeah. You understand? So we need to have more and more, not people that come, appear and disappear. I mean, every industry has such people, one does, but we need to have a very organized way of competing with others. The difference between us and the other markets that are much more aggressive is that we lack structure. Okay. If we are more structured, I think we'll be capable of producing more and more talents like Leo and all the rest that are coming. We need to be structured, first of all. So it's not just about talent. If it's talent, if you put Nigerian talent versus Cameroon talent, it might be at par. But now, the difference between two talents is information. There's one thing they know that we don't know. There's one or two things that they do that we don't do. And generally, it's standard stuff. It's not only particular to them.
One or two things we're doing that we're not supposed to do.
Yes, we are not supposed to do. So it's just knowing how an industry is structured and then try to implement that. Yeah. Then we'll probably have the same results like them. It's scientific. Okay. In order to have big artists like Bernard Boy, David, so they follow certain procedures. Are we that structured like them? If we're not as structured as them, it's going to be garbage in, garbage out. Okay. Yes, that's how it is. So it's just science. Okay. So we just need to know how an industry is organized. It's not rocket science. Online, you see it. Then now, as an artist, you try to recreate the same structure, and then you see that's the only way you can compete with those people. If you don't have the structure, you'll never compete with them. Never. Okay. Yeah, they'll beat you handsome. Okay.
Now, Mr. Leo, I know you've studied music a lot and you've studied different industries. To you, what are those things that Nigerians are doing that you Cameroonian artists are not doing that's making them, successful?
It's a lot. I think it's a lot. But it boils down to one thing that I strongly believe in, right? I will still go back to his point, lack of a structure, making it difficult to have an industry, per se. There's lack of structure because a lot of times most Cameroonian artists focus so much on the art and then almost completely forget the business. So over the years, you grow as an artist, but you don't grow as a businessman. But now, if you're a creative, that's one thing. You can be the best. You can be the best in the world. But for you to be rich and for you to make money and benefit from it, now you need to become a businessman. And when it comes to music business, there are norms. There is a system. There is a way it's done. It's not just about how you want it done, or how I want it done. It's the way it's supposed to be done. You have to do what you got to do. So you have to match up the businessman and the creative to have that kind of impact. And I think it's the difference between those two that's making us, maybe stay on one place for too long or, move very slow. Because there's been huge progress, trust me on that. I can say that anywhere, anytime. There's been huge progress, but maybe it's not just moving at the speed it's supposed to move because information is slow. Sometimes the information is right in front of you, but people are slow to grasp. People are stubborn. Some are comfortable. There's a lot of, lots of details you have to put in one basket to paint that picture, but it still boils down to structure. Okay. Yeah. Now
let's talk about originality. They tend to say that you guys are not original with your sound. You're trying to copy what the Nigerians are doing, and you're losing your culture, you're losing everything. How true is this assessment?
What is wrong with copying in the first place?
Well,
so the Chinese did not copy.
That's why
the Nigerians did not copy.
I think we'll be using the word structure, and people need to understand what structure is all about. Because the music business is vast. So there are different domains. When we talk about the music business, there is the recording industry. There's the performance. like events and everything. You understand? When you get even into the recording industry that we find ourselves in, you realize that there are other components. We need to be organized in a way that we can be much more efficient. Yeah. So when you talk about the structure, you have record labels, you have distribution houses or distribution structures, you have publishing structures, you have collective rights association. So all of those things make up what an industry. You have management labels, you have all of those things. Do we have those competencies? That's the question that if we want to compete with those people, we need to have those things clearly itemized or clearly sorted out before we intend now going for competition. Because if we don't have those things clearly put in place, it will be difficult. I will give you a simple example. A Cameroonian artist, for example, when he wants to do a project, he will have to answer certain questions. Like, does he have a project manager? Or his manager, does he have a manager that understands those things? Does he have an A&R that serves like the link between the creative process and the marketing side? Does he have that A&R in that project? Does he have a publicist or PR? You understand? That is at a small level, at the micro level. So those are the things that those guys have that make them focus on their craft. So Leo does not get to bother about the other things. He only focuses on what he knows how to do best. That is creating good music. So he will not need to do the PR, he will not need to do the management, he will not need to do the A&R. When he walks in the studio, he will like, okay, Jules, what do you think about this song? Jules will come and listen to it and say, okay, this song is so. He has to have that humility to listen and respect my opinion as a professional. And not only humility, that trust to say, okay, what this person is saying is his job. So that division of labor, we need to start implementing it. That's the only way we can have world-class products. Yes, if we cannot at that small level operate like that, it's mission impossible for us. On your own, you can do a hit song. In your room, it's possible. But sustaining it, you need science.
Very true.
And just to add, right? I know since it's live, a lot of people ask questions that I might not be faced with or him. A lot of people would say that, what about an artist that's just starting now? Does he have finance to get an A&R, PR, manager, and every other thing? Look, if you are starting up as a young artist, as long as you are informed, you are obliged to play all those roles yourself until you start fitting in a team. That's the responsibility you have, and most people skip that. And at a very tender stage, they already want that. For people to leave whatever they're doing and come journey with you and see you through years and years and leave whatever they were supposed to, do in their life and start going about with you. You have to be promising. You have to show them that you got them as they got you. You have to have a vision that they're going to follow. You have to be a leader. There's a lot you have to put on to permit people to stand beside you and just follow you. Right. So at that tender stage, nobody owes you that responsibility to do your homework and make sure you understand what management is, because you'll be your first manager. Make sure what PR is, because you'll be your first PR. Your first TikTok videos and Snapchat is going to be done by you. You have to make sure you make the least mistakes possible. Of course, you'll make mistakes, but you have to stay attractive until things start falling in place, until you start meeting these people who join you and move along. So it was just to add to what he was saying, because a lot of people ask me that.
Yeah, can we go back to the question again? How was that?
Originality, the copying and everything.
Copying is part of the game. Humans are mimicking beings. When you grow up, you're born with nothing in your head. So you copy how people say good morning, you copy words, you copy the way manners, you copy habits, all of those things you copy. As long as you live, you're going to copy. So that's how humans are. Now, because I come from a social scientific background, and cultures don't live in isolation. Cultures are meant to meet, cultures are meant to interact, cultures are meant to influence each other. So they don't live in isolation. Cameroon is not an island. Cameroon has to interact with other cultures, and with very invasive cultures like probably Nigerians, Americans.
But do you feel like when we copy too much, we tend to lose?
Now, the thing is, copying is part of the process. We'll get there. I think we judge a little too quick. copying is part of the process. If you listen to the early P Squares, everybody would say they wanted to be like Usher, they wanted to be. It was a process.
Yeah.
You understand? But over the years, they develop their own sound, their own identity, because it doesn't depend only on them. Because you might be a very good artist, but if you don't have the record producers, that can give you that sound. The artists that have been avant-gardists, you're ahead of your time. So the Nigerian industry didn't just grow like that. When Two-Face started, it's because he had a producer called OJB Jesri, who did most of the productions. And after now, you had people like P-Square that came and all that. Then you had a cream of producers that came in Nigeria. People like Don Jazzy, people like Cobams, people like Mastercraft that have been there for more than 15 years. Now, those are the people that build that sound. You understand, over the years. So it's going to take us a while to build our own sound. The first step is you want to copy what's working. Then now you see how you want to contextualize it. You understand? Then now you add your own touch to it. It's just it's a phase. It's a phase. But I think we have more and more Cameroonians that are clamoring for that Cameroon identity. So it comes naturally. We're going to have more and more producers. Like you see someone like TDB who did TDB who did Chris M's Chacun sa chance. It has a bent skin stuff, and then he did the next one, So it means that he understands how the sound is. Bill is doing a great job with the Cameroonian sound. So there are people, so like I said, has been trying to figure that out from Fab Kolo and all that. So there are people that are consciously working, but we need more and more of them. That's how we're going to work till we'll have that formula that's working, that will have that crossover appeal. So let's be patient. Let's exercise more patience.
To add again. I have a problem when you say they copy, because for me, as long as you take something and add your own creativity to it, it's a new creation. It's not the same. As long as you give it your touch, it's not the same. But if you take it back, I mean, when Makosa was Makosa, Bikuti was Bikuti, that's the original sound that took over the world. Like, it is bizarre that it is not what it's supposed to be today. It just simply means that original sound was there for people to feast on, but the business did not accompany. It was not sold properly. And it still falls under some of those things we say take our steps back, because I don't think they're copying. I just think people they just have a reinvention of what they consume, and it becomes a new creation. It's not the same. Okay.
So we had Tony Nobody in the building, and then he said to him, "You Cameroonian artists are very arrogant. You are not humble, and you are not ready to learn. You don't know that there's there's a process. You see, you just want to, when they give birth to you, you don't want to crawl. You just want to start running and walking." So we're going to take a look at his extracts, and after which you give me your thoughts, then we can continue. So let's take a look at Tony Nobody's take on Cameroonian artists.
Comme au Nigeria, le Cameroun le fasse. Parce qu'au Cameroun, il n'y a pas de showbiz au Cameroun. Il n'y a pas. There is no showbiz. Is there any showbiz? Dis-moi, quel artiste a construit des palais? Combien d'artistes ont combien de voitures? De la musique qu'ils font? Tell me.
Well, we see Stanley Aino, Magasco, Mr. Leo, Salatiel.
Magasco get which kind of big car you have seen? Stanley Aino get which kind of big car?
The other time, Stanley came with the Prado. I mean, you were...
Only a Prado? How many stars in Nigeria you know they have more than Prado?
A lot. Almost all of them.
Thank you.
Okay.
If you say that, that means we have not yet started.
Okay.
Tu comprends un peu? Je ne peux pas m'arrêter à des petites choses. Ça, c'est petit. We have to go more than that.
So what do you think is stopping us from growing?
Ignorance. Ignorance. And on dit quoi? La faiblesse. Incapacité.
Okay.
Incompetence. Il y a ça beaucoup. Okay? Look, you are the only one who have brought this camera for me to say things. And today I would say things without any filter. Ask me what you need, I will tell you.
Okay.
There's nothing in Cameroon because people want to grow before learning. They have to learn and grow. mais ils have, on dit quoi, les montagnes au pied d'argile. Donc c'est de ça qu'il s'agit. OK?
Yeah.
Et même quand les gens veulent monter, ils veulent tuer les autres pour monter.
True.
Et ça c'est normal, c'est humain. L'humain est méchant. Mais c'est bête de savoir que là où tu pars, tu ne connais pas. Mais tu veux quand même partir. Je t'ai attendu pendant 1h30. C'est moi Tony Nobody. C'est moi qui ai fait. Non. Je pense qu'il faut simplement être humble. C'est par l'humilité qu'on commence à construire.
Okay.
C'est pourquoi je suis là. Je pouvais t'attendre même 2 heures. J'ai demandé à ma collaboratrice, pardon, attends. Elle m'a dit que non. Elle peut attendre. J'ai dit, ok, c'est bon. Si toi tu peux attendre, moi je vais attendre. C'est moi le Big Tony, non? Mais c'est moi qui ai attendu, non? Donc c'est pour te dire que c'est par là que le failure commence. Les gens ne sont pas humbles. Parce que when you are humble, you can learn.
True.
Tu comprends un peu? Et pour ma part, c'est pourquoi je dis, there is no game, there is no industry. Because none of them is humble to learn and to make the thing grow.
Okay.
I respect people who are humble. Because if you are humble, you start learning, as I was saying.
Yes.
So let me conclude this part by saying that when I was saying there's no industry, is because we have to build that industry, but starting my humility. So we can learn. It's not so difficult to ask a Nigerian how you guys have done to succeed. First of all, but we are fighting against them. Or we are
Kicking against, we don't want them.
And most of us, on veut se comparer à eux. C'est une erreur.
Okay.
Who went from Cameroon there to their schools? I know they are closed the door. They have locked the door. I'm the one who can tell you that.
Okay.
They have locked their door. But who went there and see how they are doing and
come back to tell us how it's done. Yes, that's
why I respect this guy they call this Buchi boy. How they call him?
Don Jazzy.
Don Jazzy. I like this guy. I saw Sun City. I saw Kenny Music, the producers of how they call Two-Face Baba. Baba. I've seen. I knew how they was doing. I was looking deep inside. Then I started to do my own. Okay. That's why I created the project Mboa. Nigeria started by creating their own. Mboa means chez nous, at home.
Okay, Mr. Lo, since you're an artist, let's start with you. He says, you artists are not humble. What do you have to say?
Well, most of the things he said are correct. As in, he just hit the nail by the head.
Okay.
But I just always feel like it's funny to always generalize. That's the only thing. That's the only problem I have with the fact that you have to put people as one person, and then you throw some kind of bomb, because of course not everyone is like that. But everything he said is it.
Okay.
And I can even add more to what he's saying.
Please do.
You know, so he mentioned lots of things. He talked about ignorance. He talked about lack of humility. All those things, as long as you put them in one basket, it goes back to a structure that is lacking.
Okay.
Right? So this might come out funny. I just hope people don't interpret, don't misinterpret what I'm about to say. There was a time Cameroon was king when it comes to music. There was a time Cameroon was, I mean, I don't even need to give people those details. There was a time Makossa was literally defining African music. My question is, what happened? Because sometimes we avoid having these conversations, whereas this is how we learn, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, mad respect to all the legends, all the paps and all those who came before us, and what they've done musically. Yeah. Musically, I think we always have to go back and listen to them you know, learn one or two every blessed day. I can just pick out one of these old artists, listen to the music, let the music talk to you, and then you feel something else. You know, you get more connected to music than even most of what's happening today. But personally, I think the business failed. The business failed, and that is why we find ourselves in a situation where we have to construct from zero.
Okay.
Just like he was saying, I mean, every ambitious person wants to build a big house and wants to build, you know, a castle, if possible. Or the tallest building in town, let me put it that way. But, I mean, if I get the sense of what Tony Nobody was saying, a lot of Cameroonian entertainers and influential people, they like to build, they like to crush people's houses down to make theirs look tall.
Yeah.
Whereas you actually have to build the tallest building by building it, not by crushing everyone's down.
Yeah.
That's one problem. He talked about ignorance. There's so much lack of education in the industry, especially lack of classical education. I'll give you an example. The fact that you did a hit song and it took over Cameroon and took over Africa, it does not mean that you understand showbiz. Because when it comes now to longevity, when it comes now to having a career, there are things you must know, whether you like or not. If not, you will fail, that's for sure, or you will stop at some point. So there's a tendency that my G, who was with me when I was starting, immediately I released the next big song, automatically he becomes my manager. Now, if I'm faced with not negative competition per se, but I mean, in the process of learning, you have people you're looking up to, you have challenges, you have things you want to do like other people. For example, a list A artist in Cameroon is like, okay, let me see what Wizkid is doing, let me see what Burna Boy is doing. Let's try to do something, let's try to do business at that level. But you forget that you have a manager who was just fortunate to be there with you when you started. And you're up against an artist with a manager that has gone to school, had classical education about it, knows the rules of the game, understands the game, knows even basic approach, how to pick a call, even sometimes. All those things matter. And that's what you're up against. And now you're growing up artistically, but the management is not growing because there's nothing in there. So he will only take you at the level, you know, he understands business. Beyond that, there's almost nothing. If you have to go beyond that, that manager has to be as educated as you as the artist. That manager has to, you know, wake up every morning as you wake up and check, you know, about songwriting and recording songs. His life has to be about you. He literally has to be like a banker who wakes up in the morning, goes to the office at 8, closes at 5, and everything is researching on him, mails and everything is about you. But that's almost zero here. I will keep going and going and going and going. The business failed. I don't think we have a problem of content. I don't think the music is not there. All right? I have an issue when people even criticize art, because I think every creation has its place, right? But you who is standing behind whatever you created, you have to know the market to sell it to. You have to know how to move with the product. So that's it about ignorance. And of course, it is true that people want to run without crawling, without walking. And people just want to run. It still goes back to ignorance, and it still goes back to the lack of structure and every other thing. I made mention of the fact that when you start as an artist, you're your first manager, your first PR and all that. Out there, people are already aware that that is what I'm up against. So they are forced to learn something about management, they're forced to learn something about digital, they're forced to learn something about distribution, so that they can at least properly manage and distribute their first product, so that they can start getting the attention of people.
So you will still turn left, right, up, down. You will still go back to that one place that you mentioned, the lack of structure.
Okay. Okay. Now, we have been talking structure, we're talking industry and everything. To those who are
lack of an industry, and that's why I'm sure that's why he generalized that.
Yeah.
There's no industry. When you come now to an industry, it's a combination of everything involved.
Okay.
Working at top speed and high competence.
Okay.
That is what makes up an industry. If the art is way up there, and the business and the managers are way down there, and the media is in the middle, and it doesn't fit the puzzle properly. Okay, we all everything has to be up. Okay,
to me, happens to be of my generation, and those that have known me know that has been my stance, because I've been with them for many years, while most of my brothers were on the other side, because I worked with Tommy Holmes back then as A&R and all that. Okay. And that has always been my vision. And most of them didn't understand that, and they've got to understand it later on. So you can imagine the amount of suffering some of us have been through. That you have an idea, you have a clear idea, because I have a very scientific way of going about things, do my research. And so when I would speak to my phone brothers, they did not get it back then. So what he's saying is true. It boils down to structure and all that. All of the things is just structure. When there's place for everybody, when provided everybody stays in their space, when they're late.
And respected.
Yeah, and in Cameroon, it's a big problem. Yeah. In Cameroon, we're still at a level where I've participated in sessions where an artist is arguing with the music producer. You cannot be arguing with him. When in the studio with Dr. Dre or whatever, you respect his opinion, you trust his sound, you trust his sense of judgment. He knows certain things that you
and he will do same. He will respect the decisions you make on the song.
So in Cameroon, we need to educate our artists. I always tell them, if you want to get into the business, learn how the business works. If you don't know what a good manager is, you can never surround yourself with a good one. If you don't know what a good music producer is, a good record label is, you understand, a good distribution deal, you have to learn those things by yourself. You understand? Yes, because in life you're always going to have a vision, but you need people
to believe in it, to help you.
You need people, you're going to need people to concretize that vision. So it is your ability to create and sustain relationships. You create, manage and sustain relationships over the years that is going to determine how far you're going to go. Many of us can create relationships, but very few can manage and sustain relationships. That's why you see artists that blow, then at some point in time everything crumbles around them and they start struggling. But if they understood or they understand the need of harnessing a good relation, a good rapport with their human resource around them, they will become much more humble and they will become much more business oriented. You understand? Business, the business of business is people. You're doing business because of people. You're trying to satisfy the target audience and everything. So you have to understand how to use people to your own advantage. You understand? So it's you have to know that business is about division of labor. It's about structure. Everybody has to be in their place in order for you, the creative, to excel. You don't need to do the manager's job. You don't need to do the producer's job. You just need to do you. At best, if you're a CEO, it means you just need to coordinate without interfering. You coordinate and the various energies that are around you in order to achieve or attain a particular goal. That is it. So do you know where you're going to? Do you know where you're coming from? Do you know where you're going to? Who are those that you're going to need? So I always tell people, when I see an artist in an uncomfortable situation, I hardly feel pity for them, because you're responsible for your choices. You understand? You are responsible. If you have a crappy manager, it's your fault. If you have some whack mixing engineer, it's your fault. You understand? You need to educate yourself to know the difference between a good and a bad mix. You need to educate yourself. You need to know the difference between a good manager and a bad one. So if you surround yourself with people or yes men, you're responsible for the outcome. But if you want to be like the other ones, it means that you have to surround yourself with the best. It means that I've said on several occasions that most of the time in Cameroon you see an artist artistically like that, and you have a manager that is not as talented as the artist. It creates an imbalance. You see an artist that's up there, well, a music producer that's down, it creates an imbalance.
Okay.
Big industries, organized industries, where people know themselves, people know who they're worth. When an artist like Wizkid works, he knows that this sound I'm looking for, Mastercraft will give it to me. Mastercraft at the current level, he matches any work.
So do you kind of feel like we don't have enough producers, or our producers
we
are
need
not...
to have the right information first. It's business. Companies spend millions from business intelligence. Okay. It means that Leo at this level, the caliber of talent he has to be able to work with the best. Nothing short of the best. It is responsibility and that of his team to make sure that he has the best resources that can optimize or can match his talent.
Okay, let's talk about, real quick before we continue, yeah? We're running out of time. Let's talk about the ban of foreign music. Now, in order to build this industry, right, is it necessary for us to ban foreign content from coming?
No, banning is a hard word.
I don't even think it's possible.
Because Magasco was here on the platform and he said that in order for Cameroonians to consume their own music, they have to ban foreign content from coming in.
I disagree. And I'll explain why. Okay. First of all, it is impossible at this digital stage, with this digital era, it is impossible for you to ban foreign content, because as long as people step into the internet, what people forget is you as a creative, you have the power of choice to choose whatever you want to send out. But don't forget that the fans also have at their end the power of choice to choose what they consume.
True.
You know, so now from the level of creation, it is your responsibility to put in those things that will keep people grooving to that song right up to the end. Now you have done your job as a creative, but after that, business comes in. You just have to structure to the point where you know how to get the attention of the fans, how to make them add you to their playlist, not take off some songs from their playlist, because you cannot stop that. There's nothing stopping you from listening to Kosi if none of my songs is online. There's nothing stopping you from listening to just maybe Montes. Even if local is no more, or there's no more local songs, you have the power of choice. Nobody decides that for you. And now it's my job as an artist to make sure I see that song through. With marketing or not, if you stumble on that song even by mistake, what is going to make you go over that song maybe on Facebook and then come back, want to listen to it, probably the intro? What's going to make you stay? What's going to make you listen to the song to the end? What is going to make you send that song to a friend? That's my job as the creative. After that, you have now your management that comes up and they have to strategize on how to market that song. They start talking to business partners, they start talking to bloggers and companies. All that is still going back right down, you know, to the structure thing. But my take on the structuring, because another question that will come up with is people will start blaming the government and blaming the system and blaming. I am not about all that. I'm not even worried about that. I'm talking about personal structuring. As an artist, you're one person. As a team, you're a person. How do you guys operate? How do you make sure whatever you produce is consumed by most of the people that you target? How do you even know your target, you know, market? How do you know how to move? What is your vision? It's not just about having a vision. Everyone has some kind of vision. We have dreams, true. But your vision is as limited as your understanding of the business you're in, right? The less you understand the business, the less you're going to dream. You're going to dream as far as you understand what this is really about. Or you go too far without even understanding the realities of it. At that point, I see there's some kind of fantasy. But when reality hits you and you really have to dream and strategize and take baby steps to achieve, you have to have a level of understanding of your business, because the limitation with that limits even the vision. So I have two things I would strongly advise. I'm talking about personal building of the team and personal structure, not the system in general. If everybody structures, it becomes a system. And you have to have a vision. And mind you, this vision has to be what it's supposed to be. If not, do your homework until you carve out the perfect picture of the vision you want, and then move step by step.
Okay, now let's talk about business. It's show business.
Yeah.
I mean, we see you guys organizing concerts and shows, but you do not live large. What is the problem exactly? Because when we look at foreign actors, or rather foreign artists, because for example, Martin Kamims, who is now the coordinator of Dance Prince Entertainment, now he said you artists are all about the show. Oh, I have this concert to attend to. Now we don't see the business part of it. We don't see you guys like portraying how much we think we are, because you as an artist, there's a kind of lifestyle we're expecting you to live, you see, because I mean now, like you said, it's the digital age, there's a lot of comparison. When we look at Burna Boy, he's touring the world, entering private jet back and forth, we want to see Mr. living that kind of life, right? So he's like, you guys need to do a lot of investment, you guys need to have personal businesses, you know, you have to focus on the business part of the show. That is not a bad thing for Mr. Lo to become a TV host. Now, imagine that Hall of Fame with Darling Nyonga, for example, becomes a thing of Hall of Fame with Darling Nyonga and Miss Leo. Now, people tend to watch the show more, right? You tend to start having partnership deals. You tend to have a lot of contracts here and there. That is the business part of it. So why are artists not focusing on the business? Why are they focusing just on the show?
I think, well, Martin is somehow right, but the business, I think music business, he has little understanding of how music business actually works. Okay. He's speaking like an outsider, and I respect his opinion. It boils down to what we've been saying, structure. In order to be like Nigerians, we need to just respect the process. There's a process to get.
What is this process?
There's a process. We have to organize ourselves. Okay. That's why we've been talking about structure. If you're an artist, you need to have minimum understanding of how the business works. You need to have minimum understanding of the qualities of a good human resource. If you don't know what a good manager is, you're not going to have a good one. Okay. You're competing against a David whose manager is a smart guy. So everything on the chain has to be properly scrutinized. You understand? So it's about having the right piece of information, knowing how the business works. Okay. You understand? If you know how the business works, you're definitely going to hire the right human resource, because you understand the process. You understand that in order to reach to this level, you have to go to step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay. So that is the process we are talking about. Have a great team. How do you build a great team? Or what is a great team? What is a great team? Because in the beginning, like Mr. Leo said, you have to carry it until others will notice it. Yes. So what is a great team? Now, when you're in front of competent person, a good manager or whatever stuff, it doesn't just suffice to be competent, because you need people that believe in your vision. So how do you get to make those strategic choices and everything? It's a school of thought, and you have to learn. It's a learning curve for many artists. So many people put the cart before the horse, because the product is overrated. The music is the main product, but it's not music necessarily that's going to take you over there. Music doesn't just get on TV, on radio. There are people that push it. There are PRs that push it around. Music doesn't just get on playlists for there's a distributor that does his job and all that. So you have to understand all of those things, because in order to succeed in the business, it's your ability to choose to make strategic partnerships with people. It's not about you. It's about team. Let Cameroonian artists put that at the back of their mind. It's team.
And the team is not necessarily your G.
Yeah, and the problem
is about competence.
People are trying to have 100% of 100,000, rather have 20 or 30% of 1 million francs. We are trying to, so you get the difference. If 100% of 100,000 is 100K, 30% or 40% of 1 million is 400,000. So we have to think business. And when you're talking business, you're talking about strategic partnerships, strategic relationships based on competencies. You know, high competencies, from music producers to distributors to publishers. Those are very, very qualitative decisions that can make or mar your career. So if you want the same output like Nigerians, we have to be very rigorous. You understand? But you cannot be rigorous. You cannot give what you don't have. If you're ignorant, you can't be rigorous. So that's the first thing. People should learn about the tricks and tricks of the business. It's going to help them know how to establish relationships, working relationships with others, and then strategic partnerships, like signing distribution deals, publishing deals, and all those things.
Let's talk about collaboration.
This is really important, right? You asked why you think Cameroonian artists are not making
more than what they make right now. Another thing, just to add to what he's saying, most artists don't exhaust the full circle of what they are supposed to make, right? A lot of people don't even know that, okay, stage money is the everyday money, but then digital is the most consistent, but then publishing is the most lucrative, right? So when you see people living large, it's not just about stage money, but that's what we are mostly focused on. Yeah. So it's like a three-way, four-way thing, right down to endorsements and everything. And then we are so attached to the stage money, which is the least. That is the least, down that list. Because after that, digital, when well managed, is crazy with the figures. You move from digital. Publishing, when well handled, is the most lucrative, as in most of the big guns around the world, publishing is what gives them that you know, the big figures and everything. Yeah. But that's what we don't even concentrate on. Okay. Now, how many artists really know what publishing is? How many artists really know what distribution is? I'm not talking about the definition of the term. Yeah. Music distribution, how does it really happen? All the papers you sign, do you really know what you're signing? You know, if I'm in a line of work and they tell me A, B, C, D works, and then D is the most lucrative, that would be probably the most important to me, you know? That's right, yeah. And I'm not saying I've known all this from day one, right? I've had my share of ignorance, I've had my share of mistakes, but I do watch, I do listen, and I do learn. And over time, I realized these things, and I realized the mistakes we make. And that is, you know, a few of the main reasons why finance doesn't circulate. Besides the normal Cameroonianness, let me put it that way. Like, you know how Cameroonian did, right? It's a Cameroonian thing to, you know, grab and then push down the ladder. You know, but out there you see people moving like this. Yes, it's a culture. It's a cultural thing too. That's one thing you forget. When you go out there, it's a culture for them to hold hands and move. People feel proud pulling another person. Yeah. Right. I mean, you just, even around your neighborhood, the Igbo man that has a store, you see generation of people who come and sell, and each time they go back, they're opening theirs, and it's, you know, here you see what the Bamlikis do. It's okay to give accolades, you know, but the general Cameroonian perception is crossover, push down the ladder. You forget that one day you too might need to come back to get something, you know. So there's the Cameroonian culture that takes effect. That mindset of not moving together, of course, doing it the right way. The ignorance and that understanding of what this business is really about. We're talking about stage money, we're talking about digital money, we're talking about publishing. And when you go now to if you take, for example, just publishing, it's magic. It's a whole minefield. It's something you need to get into it, and then you see how amazing it is, and you understand what is happening out there. So it starts with having that information, right? If you understand and you know that these are the things that are disturbing us, and these are the things that we could fix. For me, a long time, for a while now, I stopped saying, okay, let's. I just discovered that with Cameroonians, it's not easy to force information in the minds of people. Just be the change you expect to see. Just be the change you expect to see, and people will copy, and that is the right way to copy, because they will be seeing what you're doing and they'll feel the need, they'll get inspired to make that change. And that's why you see me doing the things I'm doing with the academy and everything. I know the lack, I know how much there's that void and that lack of knowledge and lack of a system. And if I have just 10 people every year that I'll bring professionals around the world. Next session is coming up, they're graduating this February. Next session coming up, Junior will probably be one of those who will come and maybe take a course. Phoebe will probably have a course, you know, if he accepts, we'll have a course to come and tell these young producers how to, you know, go about their sound and the rest. And I just think that's the kind of change, that's the way to go about it, to bring proper change. Be the first change. Be the first change. Yeah. Okay, I want to talk about collaboration before then. Then after which, rather, we're going to take a look at Libianca's song, which is
I mean, we have to talk about it.
That song.
Like, you love it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So why is her song or this music successful? What is it that she's done? What is the difference? Because we have seen tons of Cameroonian artists dropping songs, right? But it doesn't get that much wave, that much recognition. Is it the lyrics? Is it the beats, the production?
If you permit, I'll start.
Okay.
I wanted to end with him because I'm sure he'll have more to say and he'll be more elaborate. But this is my take on it.
Yeah.
Right. Bianca is Cameroonian, yeah?
Yes.
Where?
From the Northwest.
From the Northwest.
Yeah,
And where? Living where?
Oh, she's in the States.
In the US. I'll give you another example. Tyke is Cameroonian, right?
Yeah.
Tyke, living where?
In France.
All right. So if an artist comes up and, you know, aspires to sing and, you know, start moving around the industry, trying to create connect, who are the people you meet? A, B, C, D here. But then if you're based in the US, who are the people you meet? It makes a whole lot of difference, right? Yeah. So by the time, don't try to separate Bianca from the space she's in, from the system she's in. Yeah. She is like where she is right now. It's not the same space. So of course the people she meet, right down to the last person who does what with her, they at least go a long way to do the right thing. There's less mistakes like here. Okay, then that's just behind. But to start with, she's a very good artist. She's a good singer. She's a good composer. And you have that too here, but when you look at the space, the difference in the space, the connects and everything is different. So I won't want to go deep, but don't separate Bianca from the space, from the ecosystem where she finds herself.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, basically, I mean, I've always complained about many Cameroonian artists in the diaspora who are trying to break through here or out there. I've complained about the quality of the music, the relevance of their music, and all that. She's the one that has actually understood everything in terms of creativity, in terms of talent. I think she's like one of the most talented among all the Cameroonians that I've seen from the diaspora. Like Leo was saying, the most important thing is the ecosystem. Because it's easy to draw conclusions, oh, she's that. But look at her ecosystem. Maybe she has a publishing deal with a very big publisher. There are people that are pulling the strings behind, you know. So, first of all, she's a very good artist, world class. She's world class. Now, that's what we're saying. If you're world class, you surround yourself with world class talents too.
It's going to attract them.
You understand? So you have world class managers, you have world class publishers, world class distribution. So that's how, in that ecosystem where they are, once they can sense a talent like her and they pick her from.
It's not here.
Here, you can be very good. You need to really prove your worth here. You understand? So it's different. Her song is top notch. Her songwriting skills, classic. Amazing. The theme, she touches. The beauty of the writing, the production itself. So you understand that it's a series of world-class choices. Vocally, top notch. Now, how the project is being managed, world-class. So you understand, she's in the B-board, this, she's da. I see. So those things don't just happen. It's a consequence of the ecosystem in which she finds herself in. We have to learn to be structured in order to have many Biancas. We have many of them here, but we don't have the structure to push. You know, so when I say we have many, I don't mean probably those that must have released. I mean potentially.
Even those you've not heard of. Even those amazing singers and songwriters.
We don't have the structure to that enabling environment. You understand? That can be able to optimize such a talent. So we have to always think about the basics, the structure. Do we have this? It's good to envy Nigerians, it's good to envy the other ecosystems that work for Africans and all that, but they are well structured. Now what we should be doing, it's not necessarily running after, I mean, it's good to mix up and interact, and like I said, cultures don't live in isolation. We just need to know how organized solid music industry is supposed to be, and we need to just reproduce those things. And then people stay in their lanes. There are people that are on events, like we do Domaf. Domaf is majorly events. It's a cultural thing. It's events, cultural thing. Leo has the academy, you understand, that he tries to educate and all that. Even in Domaf, we have the Cameroon Music Business Forum that we organize in a big.
When the students arrive, they perform with Domaf.
So we have to make sure that people specialize in various fields.
Yeah.
I have a record label, me that does those things too. That tries to identify young talents and then develop them and put them out there. So people, we should, like they say, we should be solution oriented, pragmatic.
Yeah.
If you feel like, just do it.
Okay.
Make sure you do it well. But it's science. There's a way to build an industry, and let's focus on building ours with everybody doing their own thing. Yeah, because I'm not trying to be everywhere. You understand? So if we focus on structuring our industry, trust me, within the next 5-10 years, we're going to have such talents.
Okay.
I must add, right? I said people have a tendency of crossing over and pushing down the ladder. On the other hand, too, people coming up have a tendency of wanting to replace rather than join the move and do better. Okay. That might sound like it's just a phrase, but trust me, look at the deeper meaning of it. Big artists trying to push down the ladder and the younger artists trying to replace. And it's been very practical. It always takes a generation to go for another one to come, and another one goes and another one comes. But when you look at other industries, it's a pile and a long chain of all of them from start right up to present. And it creates a big signal that even you cannot refuse to admit. The world cannot even say no. Okay. You know, think of all the big names you've ever known. Imagine they were still here, plus us, plus those who are coming after.
Would have been perfect, yeah.
But we need to get it.
That's true.
So it's two ways, right?
Now, most of the time we feel like you artists, we're coming to the end, you artists tend to blame us Cameroonians. Like you blame us, the audience, right? It's a blame game. You are leaving everything for us, like, oh, you guys are not supporting us enough. But now we do not see you people collaborating. It's very common in Nigeria. We see the Bono Boys, every now and then they're having collaborations together. Like, when you talk about not having an industry, your people are the industry. What are you doing? Right? Because we all can just support what you give us. We can just eat what you serve us, right? So what are you people doing? You are a record label owner, you're an event organizer, you know, you're more talent. You equally have the same thing. You have a record label, you're an artist. Now, we do not see enough collaborations from you people.
Okay.
What's going on?
I think there have been collaborations. It boils down to the structure thing. Once we are structured, it means there's
so how are we going to build the structure?
It means there's respect and mutual appreciation. I know how good
mutual appreciation.
You understand?
It's key.
Yeah, Leo, I have utmost respect for him. I met him as a boy. Today he's a man. It means he can sit on the same table like me and we discuss. You understand? The first time he met me, he wanted me to sign him.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You understand?
That's going to be an interesting
Our first meeting, it was a discussion to sign.
Yes, you understand. So today he's a man. He's a father with other kids. He has produced other talents and all that. So it means that if we are all structured, there's going to be mutual respect. Collabos are strategic moves, essentially marketing moves, in order to get wider audiences most of the time. But for collabos to happen, we need to have mutual respect and appreciation for each other. That's why I don't like hearing people saying, I was paid this amount of money to us. No, collabos is, if I have to do a song with Mr. Leo, it means that I respect his art, I respect the amount of work he's putting, and I probably want to touch some of his audience, so that's why I get to him. And then we see how we can put a mutually beneficial relationship.
But you are right. Collabos don't happen enough.
It doesn't.
I do try to play my role, but it's not one-sided. It's not one-sided.
It's not one-sided.
I have the culture of wanting to do that all the time. I do the most I can, but it's two ways.
But it's
people
difficult
have to come through.
If Leo is organized and I am not organized, he has certain information that I don't have. It's difficult. We have to be at par at a certain level so that we can flow. But if Leo sees that, no, this guy is going to pull me down, he will not accept.
Very true.
Because he has to gain something from me.
True. Okay, so we've come to the end of this edition. You know, it was, time really flies so very fast. You know, there's just a lot. But we tend to have these every month where we bring fine minds so we can talk on how to better the entertainment industry. So real quick, what is the take-home message, Mr. Leon?
Well, I just need people to cut down on the negativity, right? Let's be as positive as we can, as we can. Let's just
I just think it's time to really get to work. And when I say get to work, it's not just about going and singing and going and rapping. It's about really understanding what you want to do. People need to start building proper visions. People need to start having proper understanding of the game. I repeat, it's the first time I'm saying this here. The industry is young and it's around. Even the fan base, there's lack of proper knowledge on music appreciation. I mean, if all this is fixed, I think we'll have a better industry and everything will be perfect. Yeah.
Okay, Jules, real quick.
Basically, we need to be more organized. We need to be more structured.
Okay.
Yes. Once an industry is structured, you can start making money easily. Money is just a byproduct of value. So in order to create a high, consistent value, you need to be organized, you need to be structured. So we need to integrate that aspect that music business is business like every other business. So we need to be very organized, we need to learn to appreciate and respect each other on the chain. That's the only way we can have artists that will easily have that crossover appeal internationally. Okay,
thank you so very much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we have come to the end of today's edition of Hall of Fame with Darling Younger Debate Special. Remember, it happens once every month. Now, if you've missed out on different editions, remember, it's aired on Dashboards and Entertainment. You can equally check short capsules on my official page, Darling Younger Official. Trust me, you'll not be disappointed, okay? And see you when I say you do have a lovely day. And I'm going to end with Libianca. Yes, of course. Oh, you know what? Let's take a look at Chris M's new song. Yes, congratulations to her. It's doing well, like more than 500,000 views on YouTube. Everybody is sharing it. Mr. Lois on it. Ooh, Jules, yeah, Starlet Erno is a wonderful song. Shout out to her. Bye.